High temperatures.
A midfielder from Plano, Texas, number 19, Corbin. A defender from Jaironia, Spain, number 99. A forward from San Juan, California, number 23, Andrew. A forward from Fee, Senegal, number 9. And a forward from Kingberg, Denmark, number 11, Danny. FC Cincinnati is led by head coach Alan Cox, assistant coach Johan Dumet, athletic trainer Aaron Powell, street coach Ben Yoss, and medical care provided by Dr. Andrew Colosimo and Brian Rowley from UC Health. FC Cincinnati is presented by UC Health. Please rise and welcome FC Cincinnati and the Harrisburg City Islanders to the pitch.
High temperatures, humidity, and a heat advisory on hand tonight in the Queen City as two of the hottest teams in the Eastern Conference set to meet. USL Soccer is next. Good evening and welcome to balmy Nippert Stadium for a key Eastern Conference matchup tonight, the first of the year between FC Cincinnati and Harrisburg City as we take a look at the Eastern Conference standings. Where are things right now? Well, FC Cincinnati, they're in 6th place. Harrisburg back at 9, but only 4 points between the two clubs. Tom Glitter happy to be alongside All-American Kevin McCloskey as FC Cincinnati. Kevin coming off a big win last week at Louisville City on the road, a tough place to win and a huge shot of confidence for the lads.
I think for FC Cincinnati, it's their biggest away win, really, playing against a team that's really made Louisville Slugger feel a fortress. So big result for Alan's team, and hopefully they can build more today.
Well, let's take a look at tonight's key matchup driven by your Greater Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Volkswagen dealers, and GB a key piece yet again.
Yeah, it's going to be, I think these two guys, Wilson and GB, are the top goal scorers for both teams. I think Wilson's a very electric player, very dynamic player. He scored 3 of Harrisburg's goals, and GB obviously is leading. So it'll be an interesting battle to see who breaks the defense and creates some attack.
Well, GB will be in the starting 11 for Alan Koch alongside his friend Danny Koenig. We'll take a look at the starters, find out more about tonight's balmy conditions, and, well, we'll get this match underway when we return. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Oh.
Can you hear me? Sure. There's a lot of static. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can you hear me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It's fine. He's on spare. FC Cincinnati and the City Islanders have taken the pitch here at Nippert Stadium, where another big crowd is expected on a hot summer night for the first of two meetings between these clubs this season. Tonight's starting lineups are brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places, and for Alan Koch, he goes back to the 3-5-2 he debuted a month ago against Columbus Crew SC in the US Open Cup. Played two matches in that formation. Back to it tonight with Koenig and GB Fall, the two strikers starting alongside each other up top. At the other side, for City Islanders, who come in at 6, 8, and 5, Brandon Miller, the goalkeeper, having a great season, a 1.00 goals against average and 5 clean sheets so far this year for Miller. All of our sideline reports tonight are brought to you by your local Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Volkswagen dealers. Let's head downstairs for the first time tonight and check in with the third member of our broadcast team, Lindsay Patterson.
As you guys know, it is warm down here. The officials couldn't confirm if we would see a hydration break, but they did tell me if we see one in the first, it is mandatory that we will see one in the second. How players prep for higher temperatures? Well, they see more IVs prior to the match, and at halftime, more gel packets, ice towels, water bottles, and I took the temperature of the field about 30 minutes ago. It's at a cool 35 degrees Celsius.
Yes, 35 degrees Celsius, and Kevin McCloskey's back from Belfast, Ireland. Ryan Hanbury did a great job filling in, but you know exactly how warm that is. Tonight's match official is brought to you by Kingsgate Transportation. We can take it from here, Jorge Ramirez, and you see the earpiece and the microphone coming around to his mouth. That's because VAR, video assisted refereeing, is in play tonight, which means there is a fifth official, a couple booths to our right, Jonathan Weiner. And Jonathan Weiner will be the fifth official, the video assisted referee. He will watch things in the booth a couple doors down, and if there is a need for a replay situation, it is available tonight. FC Cincinnati in their traditional blue kits with orange, and they will work left to right as we are underway here at Nippert Stadium, the third all-time meeting between these two clubs. FC Cincinnati with the series lead, a win and a draw last year in their first two ever meetings. Austin Berry up the right side, onto the feet of Koenig. Koenig gets some pressure. It's poked away from Danny, and a throw-in for FC Cincinnati. Mentioned that this 3-5-2 formation was used twice on back-to-back occasions back in June. A win against Crew SC, and then a draw against Charleston. And now in Koch, as GB gets tied up with Travis Bent trying to go for a header, and GB immediately grabbing his hip, slow to his feet. We'll get another look at the collision. FC Cincinnati striker.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a lot of that tonight, Tommy. Very physical team with Harrisburg. Obviously with GB and Koenig, two big target players that are typically good back to goal. They're going to try to test them and not give them an inch.
City Islanders, 305 fouls this year. That leads the USL. Today's injury report is presented by the Levy Law Offices. They turn your crash into cash. Good news for FC Cincinnati, only one person. Bad news is it's a starter, Tyler Pollock. He is out with a foot injury. It was sustained early in the match at Louisville last Saturday. He's out, we know, for tonight and Monday. They're not going to play him against Valencia in the international friendly. Could be back next Saturday, depends on how the next week goes.
Tough blow for Tyler too. I think he's one player that, you know, over the last 3-4 weeks, his form is really starting to click. Put in some great performances against big teams, and obviously we wish him well getting back to recovery.
Told me before the match tonight he's feeling good, and that rehab has gone well so far. Kenny Walker trying to feed it forward to GB, didn't quite get there. Then Josu, who's starting in place of Tyler Pollock, knocks it back to Harrison Delbridge. Josu did a fantastic job last Saturday coming into the match early, having to be focused, maybe when he didn't really expect, obviously, to get the call to come in. Had an assist, had his shoulder popped out, had it pop back in, had a huge clearance offensively in the first half, and really did a great job in a tough situation.
I think too, for, you know, giving Allen that performance, a little bit of adversity. The young guy was able to step up, good performance, you know, dealt with the blows and put in, you know, probably his game of the season so far. So very impactful.
Danny Koenig earns a corner for FC Cincinnati early. The last 3 home USL matches they've scored in the first 10 matches, and they'll have an opportunity here early in the 3rd minute. Josu will come over to take the corner. All of tonight's corner kicks are brought to you by the Levy Law Offices. Turn your crash into cash. Visit LevyLawOffices.com today.
We were talking about, obviously, Josu's great performance. Set pieces, he's very, very dangerous. You know, he's already created some good assists.
He plays it short to Kenny Walker, then back to Josu. Now he'll swing it in. Didn't get to GB. Bone was coming in to strike it, couldn't get a clean look. It's cleared away by Harrisburg City.
It's that dangerous delivery in by Josu too that I'm talking about. Just has that technical ability, can whip balls in, can ping balls in. Big, big threat for FC Cincinnati tonight.
Mitch Hildebrandt looking to play it forward off the pass from Matt Boehner. Hildebrandt also 5 clean sheets on the season. Had 9 saves in the 2 matches against the City Islanders last year.
What a switch there from Harrison Delbridge. Finds Boehner here with a lot of space.
Into the attacking third. Boehner across the middle, sailed over Danny Koenig a bit. Josu will come flying forward trying to track it down. It rolls out. It'll be a throw in for Harrisburg.
Good early test, you know, for Boehner, putting the ball in between the center back for Harrisburg and the goalkeeper. He's going to want that more and more in that position as a wing back, just whipping balls in and trying to get Danny Koenig or GB with a flick.
Delbridge using his size to get the advantage, wins the ball forward to Wiedemann. Cleared away by Harrisburg City. Sean McClaws trying to get it out of the defensive third. Now FC Cincinnati will knock it around the midfield. Austin Berry, the Cincinnati native, right side. Forward over the head of GB and Danny Koenig. Tonight's keys to the match are brought to you by your Tri-State Chevy dealers. And Kevin, what do you have for the orange and blue to come away victorious tonight?
I think scoring early has been the key here at Nippert. You know, every time they scored early, they've went on to win the game. I think the strength of the attack, playing in that 3-5-2 with those 2 center forwards, Danny Koenig and GB Fall, in my opinion, if they can use that to their advantage, that could be the difference in the game tonight.
Corbin Bone with a little room to work up the left side, fed it forward for GB, about a step or two too strong. GB didn't get there. Instead, coming up to scoop it was Brandon Miller, the 6-foot goalkeeper out of Charlotte, North Carolina. He was the USL goalkeeper of the year 2 years ago when he was with the Rochester Rhinos and teammates with Pat McMahon. That was a club that won the USL championship. Thiago Calvano over to the right side. Calvano could not play last time out. A draw with Charlotte 1-1 on Tuesday, as he has accumulated too many yellow cards and had a mandatory 1-match suspension handed down by the USL. Mohammed trying to get past Kenny Walker. A great sliding tackle to break up his run, but nobody there to pick up the possession for FC Cincinnati. Now a foul on Austin Berry and a free kick coming as Mensah was knocked down by Berry. And a bit of a dangerous position here for the Islanders to try to strike early.
Team on form too, Tommy. You know, out of the last 6 games, they've had a very good record. They're coming here with a lot of confidence. Yes, they're playing away from home. I'd say a very unorthodox team as well. They're going to present things that, you know, it's not normal. They'll test, obviously, the back line out a little bit. So this will be an interesting matchup tonight.
Swung on the left side by Muhammad. Bounces across the 18, cleared out by FC Cincinnati, but Harrisburg able to keep control. Sent back forward to the foot of Ropapa Mensah. Mensah looking to get around Josu, gets into the 18. Mensah will leave it to his left. Mitch Hildebrand has to dive and make a save off the shot of John Grosh, and a great opportunity early for City, turned away by Hildebrand.
Ball comes in. I think Mitch kind of sees it late too, does well just to get down and cover that into the bottom corner. Good early start, obviously for a goalkeeper that gets his confidence up right away.
Tonight's broadcast of FC Cincinnati is brought to you in part by UC Health. Austin Berry will feed it back to Hildebrand. He'll have some space to try to set up the service into the midfield. He mishits it as he was trying to get it to Kenny Walker. City will win it right back. Into the middle, Harrison Delbridge. He has some pressure from Mensah. Delbridge able to get away from it, and Josu out into the midfield.
I think the back three tonight just got to be careful of Mensah's presence. Very physical, athletic player. Not going to give them a ton of time on the ball. Just got to be careful playing out of the back there.
Cincinnati was successful last week with the three center backs, with Harrison Delbridge on the left, Justin Hoyt in the middle, and Austin Berry on the right. And that's the same three that Alan Koch has run out this week. Finally, no midweek game for FC Cincinnati and some extra rest for the guys to prepare for what will be 3 matches in 8 days. Of course, one is an international friendly on Monday when you'll be able to play many more guys. No substitution rule for that match. But then another key home league game a week from tonight against Rochester.
I think Alan's in a good position now. Obviously, starting that back line, as you said, 2 games in a row is huge. Anytime that you can get consistency with your center backs. The rest in between is a big advantage, but just the choices and options that he has now in that squad, defensively and attack, with some of the signings, which I'm sure we may see later on in the game today, it gives him a lot of options.
Mensah trying to sneak in. Harrison Delbridge sent it out into the stands. Harrisburg City will throw it in right into the box to Mensah. Delbridge took him down. No foul. And Harrisburg City will get a chance in the midfield, but maybe mishit as Gibi comes flying across the pitch, and Gibi will be called for the foul. Well, they say it's a throw-in, actually.
I think it's a throw, yeah.
There was contact there between Gibi and Grosh. No foul was called. A quick throw-in for Harrisburg City.
A little, yeah, minimal contact. I think the defender was coming across, just went to ground and kind of got a toe poke on it. And Gibi, I think, was claiming maybe a little bit of a clip.
Striker's job to sell the foul, try to get the call in his favor. Of course, as I mentioned right off the top, tonight is a VAR game. They are testing it in all USL markets where it's capable. And today's match plays an important role in the close partnership between Major League Soccer and the USL to test the use of a video assistant referee, or VAR. The VAR will be implemented during key match-changing situations and serious missed incidents on the field. For more information on VAR and its use in this match, visit uslsoccer.com/VAR. Gibi out wide to the left, Josu. Josu will service it in. Gibi doesn't get his head on it. Wiedemann, trying to keep it alive, is taken down at the top of the box. The match official, Jorge Ramirez, says get up.
Just another great example of Josu's technical ability. Left-footed player. Anytime that FC Cincinnati can find him in space on that far left-hand side, he can put that ball in and whip it in on a platter for Danny Koenig or Gibi. So it certainly suits the system, being in that wing-back position.
James Thomas unable to keep control of it. Matt Banner just came racing up and took it away.
Defended really well, actually.
Wiedemann across the midfield will take his time. I mentioned earlier the 3-5-2 and why Alan Koch now feels he can go back to it. He has another striker in the mix in Kyle Gregg, who joined the team last week. He was at the match last Saturday, had all week to train with the club, and that gives him an option. If the 3-5-2 is working and Danny or GB have to come out of the match for whatever reason, he has another striker to come in, play alongside him, and stay in the 3-5-2.
I think he's found a system too that works in the league, right, against the opponent. The key, obviously, in that system is finding the right rotations and good competition in specific areas, in different positions. I think he's got it. I think he's got 3 center backs, 3 central midfielders that obviously can come in as well. Obviously, the 2 wing backs that we just talked about, and then the 2 center forwards. You know, having that 3rd central forward, I think, is key.
Jimmy McLaughlin, who's been playing really well this season, really throughout. I was going to say as of late, but all season long, he's not in the 11 today, but is involved in the 18. So another possibility of a sub for Alan Koch tonight. Corbin Bone into the middle, puts it onto the foot of Wiedemann.
I think the only challenge the system presents a guy like Jimmy McLaughlin, what position does he play? He's not really a wing back. He's not really a central forward. Could play in the 10 position. We've seen that a few times as well. And he's a guy that's been so productive, you know, so he'll figure his way out onto the field. As I said, with the rotations, different parts of the game, it gives Alan some good options.
I mentioned how FC Cincinnati got a chance to catch their breath this week without a midweek match. Well, the midweek matches will be back before long, have no fear. Forget the international friendly on Monday. Aside from that, you have the rescheduled match coming up on August 2nd in the Open Cup. That's the quarterfinal that everybody's waiting on. If FC Cincinnati wins that, they have to play again a week later against New York Red Bulls. We know now that match will be here at Nippert Stadium. Danny Koenig in the midfield. Taps it forward to Wiedemann. Couldn't quite keep his run. And the Islanders do a nice job to disrupt and regain control. Paul Wilson, who is part of the key matchup for Kevin tonight, sends it out wide to the right. 13th minute, we are scoreless here on a steamy night at Nippert Stadium. Wilson with a shot. Austin Berry heads it away.
To see that clever movement by Wilson getting into that space, receiving on his back foot. Now, we talked about him obviously being the leading goal scorer, but he's the type of guy that will set up with assists as well.
Last time these two teams met was May 28th of 2016 here at Nippert Stadium, a 2-0 victory for the home side. Harrisburg has been playing very well of late, 4-1-1 in their last 6 games, and they've worked their way right into the Eastern Conference playoff picture.
Yeah, just another example of Wilson. Just FC Cincinnati have got to be careful. They can't give him that much space to receive and turn and face up. He's the type of guy that will pick out a runner, even maybe a little through pass.
8th start of the season for Harrisburg, excuse me, for Paul Wilson for Harrisburg City. He has 3 goals on the year. Native of Jamaica.
He's kind of playing in that floating role for Harrisburg too. He's going to have a lot of freedom. So in transition especially, Kenny Walker's got to be aware of that. Drop back and pick him up.
Foul is called on City Islanders. Just across midfield as Corbin Bone was taken down. We're going to see 2 situations, and I want to say the foul is on Gross for grabbing his arm.
I think it's probably for the roll. Yeah, not for the slide tackle, probably the initial pullback. I think that last slide tackle actually times it well and wins the ball back.
They just announced that lightning has been detected within a 15-mile radius, so they will not go to the locker room until it's detected within an 8-mile radius. Just something to keep an eye on right now. Josu chips it forward on the restart. Was trying to get it to Delbridge. Didn't quite get enough of it. And it was Brandon Miller coming forward to grab it first.
You talked about Miller earlier. One of the things, you know, watching the last few games for Harrisburg, very quick goalkeeper, does well coming off his line. I think he's the best shot stopper in the world. Doesn't own his box, but he really acts like a sweeper behind this back 4 for Harrisburg.
Mensah trying to win it in the middle for City, cannot. Islanders able to keep control, however. Paul Wilson out wide to the right. Back to the middle, bit of miscommunication, and Josu's able to regain control in the defensive third.
Probably important now for FC Cincinnati, especially on this hot night, if they can get some possession. You know, it's not the game that you want to try to find your targets all the time or give them channel runs at least. It's got to be a level of build-up in this play.
only a third of the way through the first half, but haven't really seen either club find much rhythm thus far.
No, and it's, you know, obviously conditions play a massive part. It's a hot night, it's on a quick surface. You don't want to lose and chase the ball the entire time. You want to try to slow down, connect as many passes as possible.
Corbin Bone nearly had a very dangerous misfired pass. Went out a bit further. Now Josu looking to clear it. Will pull it down right along the end line and send it out into the midfield after the ball skipped right in front of Mitch Hildebrand, but Harrisburg unable to get a piece of it. Travis Bent up the left side to Grosh. Onto the foot of Muhammad. Harrisburg City will knock it around the midfield. Olabi'i sent the service forward and the flag went up. Jake Bond, no, I'm sorry, that was James Thomas making the run. Tonight's broadcast of FC Cincinnati is brought to you in part by your local Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Volkswagen dealers. Volkswagen, of course, the sponsor of all of our sideline reports as well. Let's check in with Lindsay.
Guys, a lot of people earlier in the season, they wanted to see Danny and GB out there together. Well, it was difficult while managing minutes. Danny even said about a month ago, hey, it was something I had to adjust to with the speed. Not used to playing in that role, but he does like it out there with GB.
Well, you saw it last week at Louisville City. Danny Koenig comes in for GB, scores literally 20 seconds after he's logged into the match. He scores the third goal for FC Cincinnati. And who's the first guy streaking down the sideline to give him a hug? GB.
It's key in the success of any professional soccer team. If you can find an attacking partnership, it's huge. So they've built, obviously, over the last few weeks and months, a level of trust, a level of confidence in each other.
I asked Danny about the celebration, and he said if that was something they had been talking about. He said no, he was looking, because there was, about 1,000 FC Cincinnati fans there. He was looking to find the FC Cincinnati fans and run towards them, and as he made that turn, he looked up, and GB's screaming for him, come here, come here.
I think GB was certainly proactive with the celebration, I think, right?
Which is usually the case.
He was like an Olympic sprinter running down that sideline.
GB had the first goal for FC Cincinnati in the match. Koenig the third. Harrison Delbridge had the goal in the middle, and Koenig ends up being the game winner. Mensah turned away by FC Cincinnati's defense. Out to the midfield where Thiago picks it up, the native of Rio de Janeiro. Swung in from the right side, out of the foot of Mensah. Delbridge will clear it away, and it appears he did along the end line, yes, so a corner kick, first of the match for the City Islanders. All tonight's corner kicks are brought to you by the Levy Law Offices. Turn your crash into cash. Visit LevyLawOffices.com today. I'm sorry, it was not a corner. So ended up being a throw-in deep in the attacking third. Shot off the left foot of Muhammad, goes wide to the right of Mitch Hildebrand. No trouble there. He'll tee it up for a goal kick.
Kind of an awkward shot by Muhammad, but it goes back to what I was talking about. Kind of an unorthodox team. They will do things that you're not kind of expecting. So a lot of mental strength needed tonight for FC Cincinnati in those transitional moments.
Muhammad has 4 yellow cards this year, so a 5th would result in a 1-match suspension, as we saw for Thiago last time out for City Islanders against Charlotte. GB gets it off his chest, but quickly there defensively is Grosh. Only one player in danger of a yellow card accumulation suspension right now, that Jaden Quinn, as he has 4. Kenny Walker also has 4, but in the minds of the suspension gods, he only has 3 because he made it 5 matches without picking up 1. So he got the good behavior bonus.
Got the double bonus, right?
That's right. Travis Bent to the left side, Muhammad. That is a new rule, by the way, for the USL this year, that if you go 5 matches without a yellow card, your accumulation is taken down by 1.
Interesting call by the referee. I think Danny Koenig maybe just clipped him. The referee decides to show the call the other way. Could have been for maybe this push-off, but...
Well, I think Danny certainly got a piece of it.
Yeah,
clear in the replay. That, by the way, we talked about the video assistant referee, the VAR. That is not something that is reviewable. There are only certain situations, goals, penalty kick decisions, red card decisions, and mistaken identity.
Wasn't trying to get the first down, right?
Yes. GB is taken down very hard on the far side. Jorge Ramirez tells him to get up, and a throw-in coming for Harrisburg City. Let's take another look at the contact. A little bit of a shove into the chest from McClaws. Certainly nothing egregious. There are many times, by the way, with the VAR that plays are reviewed upstairs, and if they agree with the call, then you'll never know. They call it a silent review. And there are many times that happens, and nobody, either here at Nippert Stadium or watching, would know that it was reviewed and confirmed. In case you couldn't tell.
Apart from you.
Yeah. Now, I may not know at times, but you can tell I got a big education in video assisted refereeing this afternoon.
You look excited too.
I took my first class in VAR. Gross. Trying to get around Koenig. Koenig again involved in contact. This time he's going to be called for the foul.
Bit of a scrappy game, Tommy, so far.
Yeah.
The referee's been involved more than both teams want, at least. I'm sure both managers are not thrilled by the lack of possession and kind of fluid movement throughout the game.
Luke Wilson and Muhammad standing over. Wilson's at least acting as though he's going to be the one to take it with his right foot. Now 30 yards away. Wilson with a great strike. Boehner heads it right back. Ends up with Wilson. Then Walker can't get his head on it. Cleared away and sent backwards by Harrisburg City. We go to the team meeting 90 minutes before, and Alan Koch told his guys today would be a physical match. Everybody knows City Islanders lead the league in fouls, and that FC Cincinnati in many ways would have to equal that physicality.
Yeah, I think so far, honestly, Harrisburg, their game plan's working, right? This is their identity. They're trying to be as physical as possible and try to dictate that game and try to slow down FC Cincinnati's possession. But so far, it's worked. And I think in return, now they're starting to build maybe a little bit more possession.
Wiedemann unable to win in that midfield. Harrisburg in all white tonight will work right to left. Misplayed off the foot of Wilson right to Josu. His pass skips by Koenig, and then a little bit of extra pressure over the back of Koenig will draw the foul.
I think the toughest thing, really, talk about difference in systems. Harrisburg are kind of playing in a 4-5-1, 4-3-3 in attack. FC Cincinnati are playing in a 3-5-2, and the wing backs, the two wingers, are kind of getting pushed back. They're getting pinned, where FC Cincinnati normally would kind of create, that extra number up with width. Now they're being forced back to defend as a 5. I think that's something that Alan probably might look at. Maybe match them system by system.
Austin Berry pushing it forward to Kenny Walker. Walker will tap it forward to Wiedemann. Out wide to the left, Delbridge. Now Berry. Back into the middle, Bone. He also reminded the team at times to be patient. Work the build-up via their passes.
Yeah. Like I said, it's not a night where they're going to go long every time into those two targets. They've got to try to work numbers forward. And the key here, the challenge at least, is playing with 3 central defenders. You're not going to let one of those guys go in and break that extra line. So they've got to be very, very patient.
Tom Glader, Lindsey Patterson, happy to have Kevin McCloskey back with us from Belfast, Ireland. We're in the 26th minute on a steamy night at Nippert Stadium, where we are scoreless thus far in the first meeting this season between these two clubs. Mensah has the ball played forward to him just outside the 18.
does well again. We talked about Mensah. He's probably their most dangerous player back to goal. Try to bump a lot of passes into him and try to get in if they can. Wilson involved underneath.
Since you were gone in Ireland, Alan Koch and Jeff Birding added 3 new players to the roster. 2 of those 3 are available tonight. Kevin Schindler, a forward out of Germany. He will wear number 70 if he makes it into the match. And Kyle Gregg, a forward who is with the Vancouver Whitecaps of Major League Soccer and made an MLS appearance this year, but wasn't seeing a whole lot of minutes there, so he's on a permanent loan for the rest of the season. He will wear number 16 if he gets into the match. And now lightning has been detected within the immediate area of Nippert Stadium, so play has been stopped in the 27th minute. There was a chance of this tonight, and we thought it might hold off until after the match. That is not the case. So a weather delay for FC Cincinnati, the 3rd time this season. We saw it at home against Bethlehem in stoppage time of the 2nd half. We saw it in Tampa in a midweek game against the Rowdies. And now here tonight at Nippert Stadium, so it will be a minimum of about 45 minutes until they can resume action, because there'll be a 30-minute holding period now from the strike of lightning, and then a 15-minute warm-up period. So we are in an official weather delay here at Nippert Stadium in the 27th minute. That is where the clock will be held, and we are scoreless at 0-0. And kind of a tough situation for both these clubs who spent, Kevin, the last 27 minutes feeling each other out. I'd say both teams trying to find a little rhythm here. FC Cincinnati may have just started to get it going too. Yeah,
well, this natural, I guess, Mother Nature stoppage, right, I think provides both teams to kind of go in the locker room, reassess the game plan. I think for Alan, he's probably coming back in here thinking, okay, this is a chance. How do we improve, right? How do we kind of change the system a little bit, improve our decisions, and try to finish out, you know, the last period of this first half and get something from it.
So on television and radio, we will return to our network programming. So TV and radio will return to our network programming as we are in a weather delay here at Nippert Stadium. Kevin and I will update you as often as we can as to when action will resume. But lightning detected in the area. You can see it's not raining by any stretch of the imagination, but lightning too close. And therefore the teams have been sent off to the locker room. 2nd time this year we have seen it here at Nippert Stadium. We will step aside, network programming on television and radio, and we will resume action as soon as possible. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer.
color, 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 color. Wow, a huge buzz there now. I'm on color, 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 color. Dear Lord. Color, color, color. Derek, you got me? Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened. I'm gonna go check all my connections with the IO. Alright. Still sounds like shit. You only mean like different headset?
Yes, sir.
Color, 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 color. Does that sound bad still? Really? Because there was a huge buzz in my ears, and now there's not. Really? You checked all your settings? I already changed the snake line. You want to try a different line on the IO? All right. Which one do you want? All right. Stand by.
you at Nippert Stadium, where FC Cincinnati and Harrisburg City are in a weather delay. Less than ideal conditions for both of these teams, who've been playing really good soccer as of late. Harrisburg winners of 4 of their last 6 matches. A draw in those last 6 as well. FC Cincinnati obviously has been playing really well over the last 2 months. They're great Open Cup play as well as their play in the USL. And Kevin, we talked about it a little bit when we went to the delay. Both these teams were starting to find that rhythm. Took a little while, and then all of a sudden sent off to the locker rooms.
Yeah, a very scrappy game to start with. I think both managers probably be happy for the stoppage, to kind of relook at that game plan, make some adjustments. But yeah, they started to get into rhythm probably the last 5 minutes, and then unfortunately, obviously the weather struck. So.
Well, FC Cincinnati has seen this twice so far this year. Of course, here against Bethlehem in the stoppage time, play was never resumed in that match, and then at Tampa when they had an extended halftime period. That match had actually ended up in a loss. I did just see the map down the hall. Not great right now. I think it's going to be a little bit longer until play is resumed. So FC Cincinnati and Harrisburg City still in a weather delay here at Nippert Stadium, trying to stay loose in their locker rooms. Once the Lightning is outside of the radius for 30 minutes, the teams will come back out and they will have 15 minutes to warm up, and then we will resume action. Kevin and I will keep you up to speed as much as we possibly can. Again, scoreless, 0-0, FC Cincinnati and Harrisburg City in a weather delay. We'll keep you up to speed. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer. Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Tom Glenner and Kevin McCloskey back with you at Nippert Stadium, where we remain in a weather delay, but it will be over in about 3 minutes. That is the good news. 0-0 between FC Cincinnati and Harrisburg City as both clubs have returned back out onto the pitch. The good news is it did not rain at all during the delay. Lightning within an 8-mile radius. They had to wait for it to clear out, then a half an hour for it to be clear after that. And Kevin, I'd imagine you saw Alan Koch going over his notes as he walked out, maybe a few adjustments coming out to finish the first half.
Yeah, give him a lot of time to kind of re-prep and, you know, go over the strategy again for these remaining 20 minutes. And I'm sure just looking at every little detail, how to improve the performance and finish out this first half.
So both clubs getting loose and set to pick up action in the 27th minute. Lindsey Patterson was down around the locker room during the 1 hour plus delay. So let's head down to the sideline and check in with the third member of our broadcast team.
Yeah, guys, if you're wondering what players do during delay, well, they move around. They avoid sitting still, using some of the foam rollers, stretching, also staying hydrated, eating some of the fruit in there, and some of the guys just peeking through, wondering when that delay was going to end. Now they're back out there. We'll be back out there in a couple minutes. And the good news, due to that delay, it actually cooled off quite a bit down here.
Certainly good news down there as the entire stadium now in the shade, as it'll end up being a 1 hour and 7 minute delay when play resumes. You can see Mitch Hildebrand indicating that he is ready, and both teams still knocking it around out there. She mentioned the teams getting a little nourishment post-game meal, pushed back a little bit. Kevin had cookies during the break. I had vegetables.
I had one cookie, Tommy.
One cookie for Kevin. I had cucumbers and tomatoes, so I just wanted to point that out. Everybody got their nourishment, the players as well as the broadcast team. So we will resume action here momentarily between FC Cincinnati and Harrisburg City. If you are Alan Koch, or if you're looking for a little bit of an adjustment for the orange and blue. Kevin, what do they need to do to gain more possession here for the remainder of the half?
I think it's going to be based on decisions, you know, trying to slow down possession and not build up a little bit. I don't think he's going to change anything tactically yet.
Right.
He'll try to do that first, and then obviously if there, you know, there's not a difference or a change, then maybe he's looking tactically to change at the half. So my thing is that, you know, it's trying to build numbers. He's trying to get more involved and kind of less direct, really.
So the fans have made their way back to the seats. The club's huddled up, and we are just about for the second half. See the fans in the Bailey, and Alan Koch getting his side ready to resume. So we'll have about 20 minutes and a couple minor injuries, nothing major in the first half. No bookings, no goals. So we'll have at least a couple minutes of stoppage time tacked on, and then we'll have the halftime break per usual. Our halftime feature tonight will be on Eric Stevenson, who had that majestic goal in the playoffs last year against Charleston. So we'll have a halftime feature on Eric Stevenson coming up at the half, and then the second half action. Appreciate everybody being patient and sticking with us a little bit later tonight than usual. As I said, it ends up being a 1 hour and 7-minute break. It'll be the 27th minute as play resumes. No changes to this point in the match for either manager. Jorge Ramirez, the match official tonight, as I mentioned earlier, or if you were not with us at the top of the broadcast, this is a video-assisted referee match, so all the officials are wearing that earpiece you see on Jorge's left side of his face, and that could come into play. Has not so far in the match, but it could come into play tonight, and we are told that we will get any explanation via text message. If it happens, we should be able to explain it to you to the best of our ability. So both clubs back out onto the pitch, and play will resume. FC Cincinnati in their traditional blue kits, City Islanders in their all whites. It's as though FC Cincinnati will have the possession to resume play, and that will indeed be the situation as the clock rolls. And Kenny Walker will send it to the other side to Harrisburg City. Why not just give it to Harrisburg City if it's going to be their possession coming out of the break? One of those mysteries we will not get explained via the text message from VAR, but play is back underway after an hour-plus delay. 0-0 between these two clubs, first of two meetings this season. See if FC Cincinnati can build on some of the momentum they were gaining towards the end of the half. As we went into the delay, GB thought he was fouled at midfield. Instead, they will call it on GB. And Harrisburg City quickly back into action up the left side.
Yeah, FC Cincinnati got to get into the game speed early. Good tackle to win the ball back.
Koenig fed it forward to Boehner, who was offside. Flag went up.
But just even with decisions, you know, trying to get back to the pace of the game, trying to understand what's needed. Mentally they're in and they're focused in the game. Not give the advantage to the opponent.
Mensa going to make a run up the left side. Boehner will get there first, sends it back to his goalkeeper. And Mitch out into the midfield off the head of Wiedemann. Now Koch wanted a foul, call won't get it. Koenig racing up the right side. He beats Travis Bent to the ball. Danny Koenig trying to slow it down, now able to keep possession.
Good work by Danny Koenig.
Sends it into the middle, it's deflected. Wiedemann nearly got there as Brandon Miller had to come forward.
Yeah, Danny Koenig's unlucky. He shows great work rate down this right-hand side. Big first touch in front, and just unfortunately tries to cut inside the defender and loses the ball.
Hoyt knocks down a header in the midfield. Josu pokes it away in midfield, but out along the touchline. Throw-in coming for City Islanders. Harrisburg City 2-7-1 on the road this year. FC Cincinnati 5-1-4. They've been very good here at Nippert Stadium, and that doesn't include 4 U.S. Open Cup wins, so 9 wins so far this summer in the Queen City. Long ball played towards the box, broken up by Josu. Corbin Bone pulls it down in the midfield.
The pace of the game already, Tommy's much faster than you know, the first 25, 26 minutes that we saw.
Wiedemann fouled in the midfield. He talks. We heard from Lindsay, who was down by the locker room, had a chance to chat with the coaching staff, and she commented that her first observation upon returning out on the pitch was that the temperature felt a lot cooler an hour later.
Yeah, no, for sure. That'll be a big factor, I think, in just the pace of the game.
Delbridge going to push it forward onto the foot of Wiedemann, and then right back to the big Aussie. His right-footed pass is intercepted. Mensah will work towards the attacking third. Onto his foot just outside the 18. Into the box. Sends in a slow rolling shot. No trouble there for Mitch Hildebrand.
Could already start a game with possession. Trying to build up this right side with Matt Boehner.
Boehner tried to go into the middle. Sent it right in between Wiedemann and Koenig. Couldn't find either of the forwards.
I think he's got to just slow down a little bit there and allow Danny to separate first before trying to play that early pass in.
John Grosh out wide to the right. Sent across the middle, headed away by FC Cincinnati. Boehner able to pull it down along the end line so it doesn't result in a corner kick. Koenig heads it forward for GB. Flag went up.
Yeah.
And GB's caught offside.
Just a few yards in an offside position actually as Danny's going straight up.
GB having words with Thiago after the fact. Remember, Thiago just served a one-match suspension for yellow card accumulation. He has 6 on the season. Jorge Ramirez waved his hands and told the two of them to cut it out. Tonight's broadcast of FC Cincinnati is brought to you in part by your Tri-State Chevy dealers. Wiedemann trying to win it in the midfield. He does. Quickly, 2 white jerseys on him. Wiedemann goes down, no whistle. Harrisburg will keep it alive.
Good pressure by Kenny Walker. They're just trying to trap in here if they can.
Brandon Miller out across midfield. Headed down by Wiedemann onto the foot of Hoyt. Mitch Hildebrand forward looking for Boehner. Sails over his head. Tipped into the middle. GB's going to make a run. The pass came from Harrisburg City. GB to his left foot. GB has given FC Cincinnati a 1-0 advantage. The 11th goal on the season for the striker from Senegal.
Well, Tommy, we talked about this threat of just Danny Koenig and GB. Just being a presence in between that back line for Harrisburg, being a threat, obviously with just pure pace, really. They capitalize on this mistake here.
By Harrisburg City.
Ball's played in, does a great job of turning inside, looks up with the goalkeeper, cool as you like, slot it into the bottom corner. Great bit of skill, great finish.
No chance there for Brandon Miller as GB went far post and found his 11th on the season. We've talked about the quick starts for FC Cincinnati in the first half. Didn't see that in the first part of the first half. But the second part of the first half, FC Cincinnati comes right out of the dressing room, gets a goal and a lead in a crucial home match here at Nippert Stadium.
I think it's just from purely, anticipating that kind of a misplayed pass by Harrisburg. GB does great to get on the end of it. And talk about composure, cutting them back inside, and what a cool finish into the bottom corner.
Harrisburg City into the attacking third, looking for an equalizer, and I think you could hear on our crowd mics when that ball was misplayed by Harrisburg City, you could hear Alan Koch scream, "Go GB!" And he took off, got it, and buried it.
I mean, you're not going to get that amount of space, get into a 1v1 situation. Here he is again, in a position kind of facing up.
This time we'll try to find Koenig. Koenig has it one-on-one in the box. We'll try to send it out, deflected in the direction of GB, ends up on the foot of Wiedemann. Wiedemann with a left-footed strike, and it sails just high. But what a job by Danny Koenig on that run to get into the box and create the opportunity.
Yeah, and again, just that threat, right? That understanding of those two. GB gets a great ball, receives it, faces up, and finds Danny Koenig with a run. I think on that effort, Andre Wiedemann's probably going to be a little bit disappointed. It's on his left foot, so not a stronger foot, but 20 yards out, a lot of space in front. He's got to try to hit that on target.
About 2 feet high was the shot. Harrison Delbridge down in a heap of pain, a collision at midfield. Delbridge grabbing his head. Jake Bond is hurt as well. The medical staffs for both clubs will be immediately called onto the pitch. Delbridge, if you remember, was hurt in the match against Harrisburg City at Nippert Stadium last year when Aaron Wheeler threw an advertent elbow to his face. Wheeler was sent off with a straight red card in that match. He is not dressed and involved tonight. We'll take another look at the collision here.
It's tough to say. I don't think it's his head, honestly.
Like Bond put an arm.
I think, he might have cut him with his knee or his elbow into his chest. I think he's a little bit winded. At the start, it looked like a head collision, right? But
it looked like that's what he was grabbing when he initially went down.
Yeah. He may be winded, which is good news. I mean, something he can recover quickly from.
Delbridge did miss a couple matches a couple weeks ago. Didn't play at Tampa Bay in the match on the road. He was not on the trip to Miami when the two teams were scheduled to play.
Yeah.
Of course, that match with a long weather delay and ended up not being played despite the long trip down to southern Florida. So Harrison Delbridge is up and appears to be okay, but Jake Bond right now not yet up on his feet, and it appears as though they've called out one of the team physicians for FC Cincinnati. That's Angelo Colosimo, who has come out onto the field to assess Jake Bond. And I think there may have been a shoulder dislocation there because you just saw him hold him, pop something back in.
He looked
now they're
awkward.
checking to make sure he's okay.
Yeah. Very awkward as he fell. Probably just caught his shoulder and his weight kind of pushed in.
Just saw the thumbs up. So Angelo Colosimo goes out, puts his shoulder back into place. We saw that exact situation with Josu in the match. Now they're going to check everything, make sure that he is
He's checking his head
fully
as well.
functional. Yeah. So we'll do a full battery of tests here on Jake Bond after the collision. It was definitely rougher for Bond as he flipped through the air and came down to the turf.
I think the momentum of his weight, I think, just smacked against the turf.
And that might be where his shoulder dislocated. Had to be popped back in. Josu had that happen at Louisville. I mentioned it earlier. And then moments later was doing a throw-in. And he told me, I asked him about it this week. He said, really no pain.
Yeah.
Of course, Josu excited about Monday night. Valencia will be here. An international friendly at 7:30. Talk about a world-class organization and a team that has done some big things in La Liga. A little less stress, a little bigger spotlight.
No,
come Monday night for sure.
Fantastic opportunity again for the city, for the fan to come out and watch a team of that level. I'm sure Josu is thrilled, ecstatic to have a chance to play against a team that he's probably very accustomed to.
Oh yeah. One of the guys who he came up with in Barcelona's youth academy, actually on Valencia's pro team on this trip. Menso working down the right side. Justin Hoyt challenges him and takes it away. Then sends it forward for Gibi. Gibi and Koenig both closing in, and it's sent back to the goalkeeper, Brandon Miller.
You just see the intent of FC Cincinnati right now. Anytime that they're getting it kind of middle defensive third, they're trying to pick their head up, try to find a space and test Brenton Carvalho at the back there for Harrisburg. Very direct approach.
Delbridge with the clearance out into the midfield. Wiedemann looking to keep it alive. Cannot. Kenny Walker came over for help. Unable to provide it. Bond, after being injured moments ago, appears to be okay as he plays it towards the corner. Now Delbridge with his signature sliding tackle comes in and knocks it away. It'll be a goal kick. Went off of Bond after all. And that's what Harrison Delbridge has done throughout his career here in Cincinnati.
Mr. Dependable. I'm sure Bond on that was probably a little squeamish. The last thing he wants to do is land on the shoulder again. But Harrison, as you say, came up with that trademark tackle. Puts it out for a goal kick.
Talked about the depth provided by Kyle Gregg and Kevin Schindler, who are involved in the 18 but not starting tonight at the forward position. Those two newcomers providing depth for Alan Koch. Sem DeVitt, the third new signee, as Corbin Bone makes a run over the left side. Sem is a central defender, so that gives them a little more depth.
Good tackle by Kenny Walker.
Center backs are concerned. Bone in the middle for Wiedemann.
Certainly seems a lot more fluid in the attack too, Tommy. A lot of space in between.
Wiedemann chips it forward for Koenig, just a hair too strong. Miller able to come forward and gather without any trouble.
You're starting to see the attack of FC Cincinnati. A lot of confidence. They're kind of penetrating into those gaps and those spaces. Much better pace.
Hoyt intercepts the pass, and then Boehner is fouled as he tries to win it. James Thomas a bit too aggressive. Free kick coming for the home lads. 40th minute, Nippert Stadium 1-0 in favor of the orange and blue. Tom Glader, Kevin McCloskey, Lindsey Patterson with you as we near halftime, about an hour later than expected. At a 1 hour, 7-minute delay due to lightning within an 8-mile radius. Cleared up at 8:30, 10 minutes to warm up. And now play has resumed here in the first half with a GB goal. Bone played it into the middle of GB. GB fell down, unable to receive the pass. Wilson will work in the midfield. Right-footed pass and offside as the flag is up far side. James Thomas a step too fast.
I think a guy I've been very impressed with since this restart, Tommy, been Kenny Walker in midfield. Both sides of the ball, he's been fantastic. Done a good job of kind of breaking up play and then threading those passes into those targets, into those spaces. Kind of been the heartbeat of the team so far.
Josu into the middle for GB. Back to the native of Spain. And into the midfield, Delbridge. Hildebrand over to the left side. Delbridge will have some space to work. Harrison's going to send it back to the right. Great ball to Boehner.
Great switch.
Boehner one-on-one. Had the position and will be pulled down by Abbas Mohammed. Foul is called on Mohammed, who will get a quick conversation with Jorge Ramirez, and a dangerous spot here for FC Cincinnati.
Yeah, great switch over by Harrison. Matt Boehner does well, get under control, dips the shoulder, goes past him. Mohammed, I think, fouls him maybe twice to try to slow him down.
Mohammed knew he was beat by the Cincinnati native, wrapped his arms around him, drew the foul. Josu with his left foot.
Another dangerous position here with the lefty. We've seen this dangerous delivery in the first part of the first half.
Josu into the middle, headed away by Harrisburg City, but Kenny Walker able to keep it alive for a moment. Played it, however, right on the chest of Wilson. Islanders trying to race the other way. Delbridge, who had played forward on that set piece,
good recovery,
racing back to recover.
Yeah.
What's wild about the lightning delay, it was within 8 miles, but really south of the river in the greater Cincinnati area over northern Kentucky, and we couldn't see any of it here at the stadium.
No. Just
like it is now. So obviously within 8 miles, got to be safe. Josu with a run down the left side. Josu inside the 18, takes a shot, deflected in the middle. Great save by Miller. Then it came off of Travis Ben as he sent it back towards his goalie and was able to keep control. Corbin Bone intercepts the pass. Onto the foot of GB. Boehner, now Walker, try to get it forward to Koenig. Deflected to Koenig. Koenig stops. Looking for a left-footed shot, never got it off. Well defended by Harrisburg City.
It's more and more space opening up here for FC Cincinnati. Seems like there's a little bit of a disconnect for the Harrisburg back four. And Olabai, it's just in front. There's a lot of pockets. But right now, FC Cincinnati are looking very dangerous.
Mensah takes down Austin Berry right at midfield. Berry was looking for a booking. It did not come. Mensah did get a word from Jorge Ramirez afterwards. Meanwhile, Delbridge working it across midfield. Plays it into the corner to Josu. Josu will swing it in. Was looking for GB. He swung at it with a bicycle kick. Couldn't get to it. Koenig going to try to track it down along the end line. and was about a step too slow. One minute left in regulation here in the first half, plus a couple minutes of stoppage time coming.
Just one thing here, Josu's playing this ball in. For me at least, in those two partnerships of Danny Koenig and GB, they've got to get in front of that first post. Well, that's two balls, two services Josu's whipped in to the front post. They've got to make that run across and try to get a nick on.
Only 2 minutes of stoppage time will be tacked on. A little bit surprised by that. Had a few injuries, a goal, but maybe the officials also understand right now the sense of urgency in keeping this one moving.
Yeah, definitely.
Harrisburg City trying to get the attacking third. Pass is misplayed out wide to the near side. And Boehner's going to let it roll out and throw it back in.
I think for FC Cincinnati too, I mean, you talked about 2 minutes. They would probably hope for more than that with how things are going at the minute
right now.
Exactly,
100%.
They don't want halftime to come. Maybe they can try to nick a goal here.
Danny Koenig was trying to get it into the middle, deflected it off of Travis Bent.
I'm sure Alan Koch does not want that half to end.
And he earns the corner kick, so Josu will take his time coming over to take it off. Tonight's corner kicks are brought to you by the Levy Law Offices. Turn your crash into cash. Visit LevyLawOffices.com today. Don't forget halftime highlights coming up, as well as an interview with Eric Stevenson. See if FC Cincinnati can get on the right side of a set piece and take a 2-0 lead into the locker room. Josu on the service. GB just misses the header and will be called for the foul.
Dangerous ball again in that space in between the penalty spot, the 6-yard box. Very tough to defend for a goalkeeper. And GB just maybe a little push, a free kick out.
At this point, you'd have to think Brandon Miller is going to take his time putting it back into play and try to get his team into the locker room at 1-0 and an opportunity to regroup.
Definitely, I think they concede that, place since the stoppage has been really FC Cincinnati. They want to try to slow down a little bit and disrupt, regroup at halftime, and then try to come back out again.
Throw in for Harrisburg City, who still has a few seconds to try and do something offensively in the attacking third. Delbridge goes down as he misses on the tackle. Jake Bond has it taken off his feet. Waiting the whistle any second now from Jorge Ramirez. Into the middle, Mensah plays it out wide. Muhammad with his left foot into the box. Mensah got a foot on it and sent it up into the Bailey. A dangerous situation, and Mensah couldn't bury it.
Great ball in by Muhammad. Left boot, just plays it in behind Justin Hoyt. And Mensah's able to sneak around back the corner. Just unlucky they couldn't get it on frame, really.
Mitch Hildebrand will set to put it back into play. He does out across midfield. GB heads it down. Over to the right side in the direction of Jake Bond. Harrison Delbridge turns and clears it into the midfield.
Good first touch there.
Josu has it on his foot as he hears the whistle from Jorge Ramirez, and the first half, which was brought to you in two parts, ends at 1-0 in favor of FC Cincinnati. Our sideline reports are brought to you by your local Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Volkswagen dealers. Let's head downstairs and check in with Lindsay, who's with Alan Koch.
Coach, credit to how your guys came out of a delay to attack to put you on the board. How do you carry that after a halftime?
We weren't very happy with how we played before the weather delay. I think we were sagging off and really trying to defend more than we should be. And we addressed it, obviously, during that break and said we want to go play in their half. We want to possess the ball. We want to go create opportunities and capitalize on moments. And obviously, we did with the goal that we scored. On the flip side, we just gave them a great opportunity here at the end by not cutting off the service. So still a long way to go in this game. And we know we've got a lot more to do. I was impressed how we responded off the weather delay. But it has to be a lot better in the second 45 minutes.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Lindsay. Both clubs head to the locker room as 45 minutes in the books and still 45 more to come. GB with the answer after the weather delay. FC Cincinnati with a 1-0 advantage at the half. When we return, we chat with Eric Stevenson. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer. Return to halftime.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my...
We're at halftime here at Nippert Stadium, where FC Cincinnati meets Harrisburg City for the first time this season. Last year, one of the most memorable goals of the 2016 season came off the foot of Eric Stevenson. He won a championship at Akron and hopes to do the same here in Cincinnati.
I played a lot of games here growing up, and obviously knew that soccer was a big here, you know, but it really took off in a way I didn't expect.
One of your fellow Zippers, Aiden Quinn, now part of this club. Were you involved in helping recruit him?
Honestly, I tried to get him to come here last year. I was telling him that it was a great setup, and you know, it was a great group of guys, and the coaching staff was really awesome. And I almost got him to come here last year, but finally, I don't know if I played a big part in it, but I was definitely talking to him, trying to get here to come here. So I'm happy he's here. That was a crazy season. It was just a really special group of guys. We were all really close in the locker room, and we had a lot of fun, but we took it really seriously as well. And honestly, the NCAA tournament and the Final Four, the whole atmosphere and everything just seemed so perfect. The training that we received there, and just the quality of players that were there. There's a lot of guys that have turned pro, so being able to train with those guys in and out day to day really helped prepare me to move on to the next level. Because when you go to the pros, you have each coach that wants to play a specific style, a certain system, and so those two things correlate directly.
Like this too. For Quinny and for Eric and Kadim, you've got to go like this a lot, and you've got to go in and out. But we've all got to be on the same page.
We got a great group of guys here, and last year I had that feeling that we were going to make a deep run, and things didn't work out the way that we had planned.
Stevenson with a big right foot, and a goal! Eric Stevenson with a brilliant strike gives FC Cincinnati an early lead.
But it's the same feeling this year, so we're definitely capable of making a deep run, and hopefully we bring the championship home this year.
When we return to halftime here at Nippert Stadium, we'll take a look at the highlights from the first half and the stats from the first 45 minutes. That's coming up next. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer.
And helping people was my thing.
I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell and I had to have Meals on Wheels.
After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak.
Meals on Wheels coming to my door as someone who's housebound, having someone check on me, assures me that I'm not forgotten.
Meals on Wheels has given me a mode of freedom that I wouldn't have otherwise.
We're the clients.
We are the clients.
We are the clients of Meals on Wheels.
America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
We've raised the stakes. Expectations are high. Our biggest season yet will break records with elite players and future stars. Innovative technology and new homes. We're growing the game in our communities and across the nation. Are you ready?
We are officially past the midway point of the 2017 USL season. The first half saw the setting of new records, attendance reach over 1 million, and strong play on the field, highlighting the Fans' Choice Mid-Season Awards. Nominees were chosen for the awards, and the winners were left up to fan vote. Diego Restrepo was voted Goalkeeper of the Year, winning a staggering 59% of the vote. The San Antonio FC goalkeeper started the season as the backup, but stepped in after Matt Cardoni's injury and has racked up 7 clean sheets along the way, to go along with a .39 goals against average and a .862 save percentage. Kyle Smith was voted Defender of the Year, the only Louisville City FC player to play every minute for the club this season. The league's newcomers were recognized in a close vote, but Reno 1868 FC's Chris Wehan just edged out New York Red Bulls 2's Aaron Basulovic for the Fans' Choice Rookie of the Year award by 0.1%. Wehan is tied for the league lead in assists with 7, while Basulovic has yet to come off the field for New York Red Bulls 2, passing at an 84% accuracy rate. Chandler Hoffman claimed the title of Fans' Choice MVP. Hoffman has tallied 11 goals and 5 assists and found himself as the lone player in the top 5 in the league in both categories. Hoffman, along with head coach Briggs, have helped lead Real Monarchs SLC to the best record in the league, a feat that earned Briggs the Fans' Choice Mid-Season Award for Coach of the Year. For USL Network, I'm Morgan Conklin.
I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent from the United Soccer League.
Nippert Stadium, where FC Cincinnati leads Harrisburg City 1-0 thanks to a goal from GB. Tom Glitter back alongside All-American Kevin McCloskey as we get you set for the second half. But before we get to the highlights, Kevin, Allen alluded to it in his interview with Lindsay, a different team after they came out following the weather delay. FC Cincinnati had a little extra step in their boots, and boy, did it pay off.
Yeah, I think, specific instructions from Allen wasn't quick enough. The tempo wasn't good enough. So I think we saw that adaptation in that second period in the first half, and obviously resulted in a goal. So much improved.
Tonight's first half highlights are delivered by PapaJohns.com. When FC Cincinnati scores twice, you get half-price pizzas online. Code FC Pizza 50, and a few chances early, including a decent one for Harrisburg City.
Early chance for Harrisburg, and I think Mitch actually sees this pretty late. So good concentration, follows it all the way into the corner. This is a ball in by Wilson. Defended well by Austin Berry, comes back in. Not enough to kind of trouble the defense in that second time around.
Cleared away, and then here's the ball into GB, misplayed by Harrisburg City, and the finish from the striker.
Just again, great anticipation, gets the ball, turns back inside, looks up, and a cool finish into the bottom corner, Tommy.
So GB gets his 11th on the season. FC Cincinnati, by the way, halfway to those half-price pizzas. Let's take a look at the stats from the first half. Twice as many shots for FC Cincinnati, but on target, equal in the possession right now, pretty much in favor of the City Islanders.
And it's, one of those things, I think that first period before the delay, I think Harrisburg probably did have the run of the play. They completed more passes, but obviously goals are the most important thing, and FC Cincinnati created more chances from it.
Tonight's sideline reports are brought to you by Volkswagen. Lindsay Patterson in the locker room with FC Cincinnati. She has emerged with the club. Let's head down to the sideline and check in with Lindsay.
Yeah, guys, I left the dressing room about 4 minutes ago, and Alan Koch asked the guys, what did you notice in the last 17 minutes? And they all agreed it was energy out there, and a lot of the players added, hey, it shouldn't take us this long to get into the first half, but they want to carry that on in the second. They have to fight to win the ball. It all comes down to little details. The good news, they have another 45 to bring that confidence again. The upcoming schedule is brought to you by Audi Cincinnati East, bringing you the ultimate Audi experience on Beachmont Avenue. Monday night, an international friendly everybody knows about against on July 24th on ESPN3. Also ending July with Rochester at home July 29th. The midweek Open Cup match on the road versus Miami FC. Again, that's a makeup match on August 2nd. They'll also return home August 5th against Orlando City B.
All right, thank you, Lindsay. Both clubs out on the pitch and ready to go for the second half. Harrisburg City will have the first touch here in the second half. And play is underway on ladies' night at Nippert Stadium. Josu intercepts the pass right away, read it perfectly, and feeds it into Wiedemann. Back out wide for Josu. His service is deflected, but able to regain possession. 1-0 in favor of FC Cincinnati. They're wearing their traditional blue kits tonight. Austin Berry working it in the midfield.
So far, a very fast start, crisp passes. Good interception, obviously, by Josu to kind of start this possession here.
Pass sent into the middle in the direction of GB, intercepted by Harrisburg City. Now Delbridge battling in the midfield. Comes off the chest of Paul Wilson. And Harrisburg City gets across midfield for the first time here in the second half. Suddenly very dark here at Nippert Stadium. You don't often see these matches past 9 p.m., but with the 1 hour and 7-minute weather delay in the first half, we cross into the 9 o'clock hour. And appreciate everybody joining us at Star 64 or ESPN 1530. And of course, across the globe on the USL's YouTube channel.
Interesting to see kind of, Harrisburg, how they come out the second half, how they set up, if they change anything with their formation.
McClaws. Into the middle, Mensah. Mensah had a couple good looks. He missed on his best look late in the half. Alan Koch commented on that to Lindsay going into the locker room about how he wasn't happy cutting off that service and giving Harrisburg City a point-blank range on an equalizer. Cross from Olabi'i. And then the shot is wide to the right of Mitch Hildebrand.
And for sure, you talked about Mensah there. Mensah's definitely a threat. Wilson, we've not seen that much of Grouch or Bond, but very capable players that can make a difference. We've seen that in the last performances for Harrisburg. Off a great result for them at Charlotte, tying 1-1. So this game, obviously, Alan said it at halftime, it's far from over.
Barry chips it back to Mitch Hildebrand and sent forward to Matt Boehner. He is cut down far side of the pitch, and the foul is called at Harrisburg City. Tonight's broadcast of FC Cincinnati is brought to you in part by the Montgomery Inn. Kevin and I are looking for the Montgomery Inn delivery.
Yeah.
During the halftime there, our post-match meal pushed back just a hair with the weather delay. Austin Berry waiting to put it back into play, looking for a little more room as he strikes it with his right foot over the head of Wiedemann. And FC Cincinnati changing the formation a little bit tonight, going back to the 3-5-2 we saw for 2 matches back in June against Columbus Crew SC and Charleston, when those 2 teams met here. Koenig and Gibi starting alongside each other. Wiedemann playing more at the 10 position, has it on his foot, drops it back for Bone. Bone in the middle, Gibi.
Good play.
Now Delbridge. Harry working towards the 18. Pushes it to Josu. Sends it across the middle, headed away. Koenig can't track it down. Bone will head it over to fellow midfielder Kenny Walker. Bone into the 18, was looking for Gibi, who slipped and fell onto his back as Brandon Miller raced over to grab it out of the air.
Just another example I talked about in the first half of Miller. Very, very quick. Goalkeeper off his line, anticipates those balls. Almost acts as a sweeper for Harrisburg.
Austin Berry is called for a foul in the midfield. Harrisburg City will be able to bring it back into play, working left to right in their white uniforms. 50th minute, 1-0 in favor of FC Cincinnati. Throw-in coming for the visiting side. Into the attacking third. Cross was sent for Jake Bond, way too strong, and it tails out along the end line. So Mitch Hildebrand will pick it up and set for a goal kick.
I think one of the biggest things for Harrisburg is Mensah trying to bring in his 2 wingers of Bond and Thomas. A lot of it's very, I don't want to say predictable, but it's his number 1 option is to play back into Wilson's feet. So I'm sure that's something Bill Betcher will look to try to improve on and give that message into Mensah in the second half.
Betcher now in his 14th season leading the City Islanders. He's the only head coach the franchise has ever had. Long tenure with the club.
It's funny too, many moons ago, probably 10 years ago, I played against Harrisburg, and similar style, identity, carbon copy.
Not much has changed in the 14 years.
Yeah.
Of course, he took him to the USL final in 2014. Kenny Walker with nifty footwork to get around Jake Bond. Chips it forward for Koenig, but a hair too strong.
Great feed by Kenny Walker. Does really well in tight pressure. Just unlucky with his delivery over the top. And again, another example of Miller coming off his line. Here, another look at it again. Quick feet, turns back. Just doesn't get the weight quite right. Trying to find Donnie Koenig with his through on.
Andrew Wiedemann gets tangled up along the end line. He'll be called for the foul. Bit of a chuckle from the FC Cincinnati veteran as he works the other way, following the call from Jorge Ramirez, who was about 25 yards behind the play when he blew his whistle. Walker battling in the midfield with Mike Ola. Ola wins it and gets it forward to Lewis. Lewis will send it out wide to the left. Cross sent back across the middle. Jake Bond unable to come away with it. Josu trying to track it down. And McClaws gets there first. McClaws into the middle. Mensah at the top of the 18. Gets off a right-footed shot, but way wide to the left of Hildebrandt. No trouble for the orange and blue goalkeeper.
I think Mensah obviously unhappy with the end product, but just gives another example of how dangerous he is back to goal. Big target, good balance. He can go left and right. One thing missing, obviously, that quality strike and try to get it on frame.
Ropapa Mensah, the big 6'1" forward out of Ghana, has 2 goals and an assist this season. Foul is called just across midfield as Thiago and GB get tied up. We've seen those two exchange words a couple times in the first half. And then GB beat Thiago on the goal. That's the difference in the match right now.
Thiago's not giving him a sniff now after that. Obviously that goal that was conceded. Playing very, very tight to him.
And took exception to the arm along his back and neck. Kenny Walker will set to put it back into play, looking to serve it to the top of the 18. Walker with his right foot, headed away by Harrisburg City. Islanders will try to push the other way in transition. In the middle, it's Grosh. Bone bringing the pressure.
It's a little bit of a push, I think, by Corbin.
A bit aggressive with Corbin Bone. Check it. On the foul. Into the box, and Painter with the defense to break it up for FC Cincinnati. Then it's Grosh who's a bit aggressive, trying to regain possession. Will be called for the foul.
Patient build-up play out of the back here for FC Cincinnati.
Bouncing in the direction of GB. Back-heeled it. Trying to get it to fellow striker Koenig, who's able to hold on to it. Then Koenig is knocked down just off the corner of the 18.
Great job of getting back up.
Danny's going to be called for a foul. Too aggressive going back into it. Trying to regain control. Wiedemann arguing Koenig's case. Koenig will get a chat with Jorge Ramirez.
A feed for Koenig though. He gets dispossessed, but gets back up, for a credit to him, gets back on his feet again, goes in for a challenge. I think he's aggressive in the challenge, but
Brandon Miller's upset about something. Jorge Ramirez. A lot of different conversations right now.
Miller's very animated.
Here's the foul on Danny Koenig. He thought there was a foul called. You can see he got up.
I don't see that as a foul. Turns his body, protects the ball, has body position on him. I think Calvano just makes a little bit more of that.
We've seen Thiago tied up with GB a few times. Now we have 2 balls on the field, so clear one of them out of there, and then a foul is called on Harrisburg City. Sue will clear out the second ball.
Kenny Walker's getting a little frustrated. He wants momentum to keep going, right? Speed of play and the tempo to be as fast as possible.
A lot of whistles over the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, just kind of slow the rhythm down a little bit.
Played back to Hildebrandt. He'll send it into the midfield. Comes off the head of Boehner right back to Harrisburg City. Mensah making a run. Flag is up. And offside will stop play.
Justin Hoyt does a good job too, just checking his run and stepping as that pass is made, just to make sure that the Harrisburg player is offside.
Hildebrandt come out and take the free kick after the foul. 57th minute, 1-0 FC Cincinnati. GB with the difference maker in the 32nd minute. Koenig trying to get it to GB. Struck straight up into the air, and then GB collides. Was that Ola Thomas that he made the collision with on the far side? James Thomas, the forward there, and you see GB trying to help him back up to keep the pace of play that has been slowed greatly of late.
We talk about the pace of play too. I think it's a big thing, an advantage for FC Cincinnati at least. Harrisburg usually play on a grass surface, thick grass surface as well. Watching the last 2 games, kind of speed of play is a little bit slower, so FC Cincinnati used to playing on this quick, sharp surface. Certainly using it to their advantage right now.
Up the left side, Mohammed sends it across the middle, and a great opportunity there. Just missed. Far post for Hildebrandt. And Harrisburg City nearly made it 1-1.
I think Harrison just gets the wrong side of the defenders as ball comes in. Doesn't recover it back towards him. He's in between Josu, and unlucky for Harrisburg.
It's James Thomas there, who was down moments ago after that foul on GB. Wiedemann will go out wide to Boehner and shift it to the right side. Boehner to the attacking third. Pulls it back to Bo. On to the left, Josu. Walker into the middle, Bone.
Good play.
Up to GB, top of the 18. Back to Bone. Over to Koenig. Koenig with his right foot. A save. Wiedemann on the rebound and another save. Brandon Miller makes 2 huge saves. And FC Cincinnati knocking at the doorstep.
Fantastic phase of play, actually, just showing good understanding, good combination by Kenny Walker and Corbin Bone. And what a pass this was. Danny Koenig just unlucky, couldn't wrap in. Andrew Wiedemann comes back in. Great save by Miller.
Corner kick for FC Cincinnati after the 2 saves by Brandon Miller, who was the 2015 USL Goalkeeper of the Year with Rochester. Josu's going to service it. FC Cincinnati looking to go up by 2. There's the cross from Josu. Far post. Barry got his head on it. Knocked away defensively by Harrisburg City. Back to Corbin Bone. He has some space. Bone across the middle. Hoyt got his foot on it, but put it into the side of the netting as the cross was a bit too strong.
We talked in the first half about the central midfield player, Kenny Walker, doing so well on both sides of the ball, kind of defending, getting it back, setting up the attack. This other guy, Corbin Bone, it's been electric in the second half. It's been everywhere.
Seeing opportunities. Koenig, Bone, Wiedemann, Hoyt. Everybody's getting forward and getting chances.
See, if that goal goes in, for me, that's probably the best team goal. Just as far as the build-up play, the understanding. But wasn't to be.
Delbridge will play it back to Hildebrandt. Quickly clears it out into the midfield. Wiedemann on to Josu. Now Delbridge. Turnover. Thomas into the box. Thomas with Austin Berry sliding in to break it up at the last minute, and it goes out along the end line.
It's a fantastic recovery tackle by Austin Berry. He's the player that loses it initially. However, I don't think it's the right pass from Harrison Delbridge. Austin Berry reacts the right way, gets back, puts in a big-time tackle.
Corner kick for Harrisburg City. All of tonight's corner kicks are brought to you by the Levy Law Offices. Turn your crash into cash. Visit LevyLawOffices.com today. Service across ends up on the top netting. So a misfired ball from the far corner, and Mitch Hildebrandt will get the goal kick as we're 2/3 of the way through the match, and FC Cincinnati leading by 1. Let's head down to the sideline and check in with Lindsay Patterson.
Yeah, guys, we almost saw that second goal just a moment ago, and that was one thing the players actually talked about at the half. They said they need to bring that confidence, but they said they get that second goal, they feel like that could seal it.
No doubt at home, being up by 2 would be big for FC Cincinnati. Remember, they were up 2, though, at Louisville City, and a late own goal went off of Andrew Wiedemann. Made it 3-2, which meant that Koenig's goal coming into the match and scoring ended up being the difference maker. GB is taken down hard on the far side. We will have our first booking of the night, and a yellow card is issued to Joe Thomas. Not Joe Thomas, I'm sorry, James Thomas. Joe Thomas plays for the Cleveland Browns. James Thomas for the City Islanders.
distant cousin, maybe.
Maybe.
I think Thomas, what he's complaining about, I think GB maybe catches him with his arm as he's turning. Just on this turn, kind of extends. I understand why he's kind of annoyed, but still, silly foul out of frustration, earns him a yellow card.
8th yellow card of the season for James Thomas. He is now suspended for the second time this season from the next match for the City Islanders. He will not play Wednesday, August 2nd at Orlando City B. Josu will put it into play and send it to the 18. Barry got his head on it, but it didn't end up in the direction they go. He'll go and try and track it down. Thomas definitely frustrated on that foul and earned the yellow card.
Got to be careful in this transition. Just the shape of FC Cincinnati. I think really the only two opportunities that Harrisburg have tried to capitalize is really a misplay out of the back for FC Cincinnati. So that last one with Austin Berry's recovery, poor pass in with poor shape. They've got to just improve their decision if there's pressure on. If they have to, just skip that next line and play forward and not put themselves under pressure.
Koenig trying to win it back in the midfield. Sent forward for Mensah. Unable to pull it in, and it rolls out along the end line. Goal kick coming for Hildebrandt in the 64th minute. Tonight's broadcast of FC Cincinnati is brought to you in part by your local Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Volkswagen dealers. Another very nice crowd on hand here at Nippert Stadium. They just announced the attendance, 18,334. Walker forward, Chibi trying to get to it before Travis Bent or Brandon Miller. Bent was able to shield him off just long enough for it to bounce into the arms of Miller.
Miller does well again, just come to the top of his box to collect.
Yet to see Alan Koch go to the bench, but this is about the time that he does normally go to his subs. Matt Boehner and Travis Bent, in the meantime, tied up right at midfield, far side. That's right in front of the table where the match official can go and look at a replay should the video assisted referee decide he needs to. Wiedemann into the box for Koenig. Koenig. And the flag was up on the far side. Offside is the call.
Tommy, you talked about kind of going to the bench with Alan Koch. I don't think he changes anything right now. You know, I think the attack has been good. I think the only thing really, like I said, is just an improvement. The playing out of the back, the build-up play a little bit.
You've seen this match get a little chippier here in the second half, but nobody for FC Cincinnati playing on a yellow. And you're right, offensive opportunities are coming right now for the orange and blue. So
the energy's good.
Club has had a week off since their last match, the win at Louisville City, just down the road last Saturday. Meanwhile, Harrisburg City will go to the bench at the opportunity.
The only thing that I'm thinking about, Tommy, maybe Josu or even Boehner, maybe a sub with Jimmy McLaughlin to give a little bit of extra firepower. You know, Lindsay talked about trying to get that second goal, and it would be a killer goal. It's going to be something maybe Alan's starting to think about.
Jason Plumhoff will check in for Plumhoff. This is his debut on the season. So Plumhoff in for the first time this year. And coming out is Jake Bond, who was dinged up earlier in the match in the collision with Harrison Delbridge. Koenig lays off. Boehner sends it into the middle. Boom! Got his foot on it and sent it just wide to the left of the frame. Corbin Bone nearly at his first of the year.
Plumhoff's a guy I think was previously at Harrisburg.
Yep.
just re-signed.
One of the returning veterans for Bill Betcher. Throw in for City Islanders. Goes off the foot of Delbridge and will immediately be thrown back in again. Looks like Jimmy McLaughlin will be the first sub, so good call there, partner. Jimmy's just had a conversation with Alan Koch, so nobody's come out to midfield yet, but certainly something to keep an eye on. Alan Koch has 3 subs remaining. Sean McClaws, meanwhile, throws it in for Harrisburg City, looking for an equalizer. 1 win for FC Cincinnati, 1 tie in the previous 2 meetings between these clubs. McClaws across the 18, too tall for Grosh. Sent back in the direction of Thomas. Josu was there. Jorge Ramirez, the match official, waves his hand. Not enough contact. Now Josu trying to clear, sends it straight up into the air. Headed down by Olabigi. Wiedemann with a great move to keep it alive. GB holding up to stay onside. Now Wiedemann out wide for GB. GB on the left. Left-footed shot. Boy, was that a big save by Brandon Miller to keep it wide to his right.
He makes the right decision too, trying to test him front post. Andrew Wiedemann does a great job of, again, avoiding the tackle. Penetrates well into the space.
It's an absolute rocket off the foot of GB at point-blank range.
Great reflexes by Miller to his right side.
All of tonight's corner kicks are brought to you by the Levy Law Offices. Turn your crash into cash. Visit LevyLawOffices.com today. Kenny Walker will take this one from the near side. Josu has taken the rest so far for the orange and blue. Walker with his right foot. Sends it far post. Hoyt knocks it down. Barry trying to spin on it. GB with a bicycle kick, and then Koenig heads it up over the frame.
Unlucky.
I don't know if Koenig needed to touch it there.
I think GB's effort might have been going towards the back post. But Koenig, ball's coming in at the, head height.
Inside the 6-yard box here. He taught to knock that down and try to bury it.
Good knockback here, just Austin Berry's unlucky.
Yeah, probably would have been wide.
Yeah.
Lead remains 1-0 in favor of FC Cincinnati. Trying to extend it here at home and get a little bit closer to 3 more points.
Great
here
pass.
could it be. Koenig for the 2nd straight week. Buries one to make it 2-0.
Fantastic pass in by GB.
GB will get his first assist of the season, and his buddy Danny Koenig has 6 goals in league play.
Yeah, GB does great, just seeing the run. Koenig times it well, just nutmegs the goalkeeper. Good finish. That's the go-ahead goal that they're looking for.
Brilliant finish for Koenig. Last week, in the match at Louisville City, Koenig scored and GB was waiting for him to celebrate. This time Koenig turned around and he wanted to go celebrate with number 9. Jimmy McLaughlin now will check in for his good friend Andrew Wiedemann. Those two replace each other in the match. Some fresh legs as number 20 comes onto the pitch. A big hug between Alan Koch and Andrew Wiedemann at midfield. And FC Cincinnati with their 2nd goal means half-price pizzas tomorrow at papajohns.com. Use the code FCPizza50 and get half off your pizza all day tomorrow, thanks to that 2nd goal from Danny Koenig. Kenny Walker poking it away. Now sent into the middle from Plumhoff. Chance of FCC from the orange and blue faithful here at Nippert Stadium tonight. Watching their club now 20 minutes away from moving up the Eastern Conference standings some more. Currently, the home side in 6th place in the East with 27 points. Foul will be called just outside the 18 in Harrisburg City.
Nick Wilson just comes in, high foot on Kenny Walker, bravely going for that header. This sub, Jimmy coming back in, probably playing in that 10 position, or you may even play 3 flat or change kind of the shape of it. But going to provide a lot of support for these 2 target players. Jimmy's obviously a very dynamic player. Penetrates well in those pockets of space, so interesting to see if they can get the 3rd goal here.
If this result were to hold for Alan Koch at FC Cincinnati, they would move up to 4th place in the East, which is a home hosting position, and they would move ahead of Louisville City by a single point and trail Charleston, who's in 1st, by just 5. So still 20 minutes to go, but certainly all the positive play of the last 2 months for this club starting to pay off in the table.
Oh, definitely. It's one of those things, you could feel it kind of coming. I remember Alan probably about 2 months ago talking to Johan, his assistant, about the, it's a process. Kind of in the construction phase is what they talked about, and now you're starting to see the benefit of this, the payoff of it. You've got to be patient, but tonight's performance, he wasn't that happy with the first 15-20 minutes before that weather delay. Since that stoppage, but much more fluid in the attack, good understanding. And obviously now the scoreline's 2-0. No reason why they can't go and get this 3rd and this killer punch, put this game to bed.
That delay may be a blessing for FC Cincinnati. If so, it would be the 2nd time this season that FC Cincinnati has benefited from the weather. We saw it down in Miami when Harrison Delbridge wasn't healthy to play in that game against Miami FC, the quarterfinals of the U.S. Open Cup. What's on the line? A semifinal date, potentially here at Nippert Stadium for FC Cincinnati if they can beat Miami. Now when these 2 teams play on August 2nd, Harrison Delbridge is available. A couple other guys weren't on that trip.
Makes for a stronger squad for sure,
100%. You got a couple new guys now who might be available for that match as well. Meanwhile, Harrisburg City trying to get something going and chip away at a 2-goal hole. Unable to do it along the end line, which saw substitution as Danny DePrima checked in, the midfielder out of Pennsylvania. He was on that 2014 team I mentioned earlier for Harrisburg City that went to the USL final under Bill Betcher. Hildebrandt will set for the goal kick in the 75th minute. It was Gibi with his 11th of the year in the 32nd minute, and then Danny Koenig, his 6th of the season moments ago, to make it 2-0. Josu. There was some contact along the touchline. Sean McLaws say Josu touched it last, so McLaws will throw it into his goalkeeper. I'll tell you what, Brandon Miller's been fantastic tonight. You can't fault him for the 2 times he's been beat.
Certainly not the goals. I think he's done brilliantly off his line. You can just see anytime that they attack too, he stays very connected to the back 4 for Harrisburg. Plays that position kind of as a sweeper keeper, really.
There's Koenig, 3 white jerseys around him. Over to his left. McLaughlin into the 18. Jimmy McLaughlin with a left-footed shot. And Miller again answering the bell with a save.
It's him again on that front post to his right side. He looked very strong on his right side.
McLaughlin will wait for Kenny Walker to come over and take the corner kick. Alan Koch was hoping for a set-piece goal tonight. Haven't yet seen that. Certainly can put this one away if the orange and blue can bury one here. Walker sends it across the middle. It was right there at Koenig's feet, knocked away. McLaughlin will send it back. Barry heads it in. Koenig swipes at it and sends it out wide. Goal kick coming. First a substitution for FC Cincinnati. GB will come out when the opportunity comes, and we will see a debut. Kyle Gregg, the 6'2" forward, just acquired from Vancouver Whitecaps, the MLS side, and someone who played for Alan Koch last year on Whitecaps 2. So familiar with what Alan is doing. And Kyle Gregg makes his FC Cincinnati debut here tonight at Nippert Stadium, replacing GB. And this is what I talked about earlier. The 3-5-2, the shape doesn't have to change now with Kyle Gregg, a true striker, able to come in and replace GB.
No, not at all. I think what a time to bring another experienced player in. As you said, Alan obviously knows and trusts him. So hopefully he can come on and provide some additional support to Danny Koenig, and I'm sure he's eager to impress this crowd tonight.
Saw GB looking up into the stands there as he came off onto the bench. His wife and daughter moved to Cincinnati in the last month, and he said it's just brought him so much more life on a day-to-day basis to have them here in the Queen City as opposed to chatting with them on FaceTime all day.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it's going to be tough for any of these international players that are separated from their families. It's great news to hear that they came over and, as you say, give him kind of day-to-day support, really.
Danny Koenig's family made the trip over and has been here for about 6 or 7 weeks now. So Danny's had his family around. Justin Hoyt's family actually came at the beginning of the season when he was hurt. Tickets were booked to come in from England. So family was coming whether he was playing or not. And he told me that they're coming in about a month for the end of the season. So he's excited about that. In the midfield, Harrisburg City trying to push it left to right. Delbridge knocks it down in the middle, and Mensah sends it high over the goal. FC Cincinnati fans make a life-saving blood donation at Hawksworth Blood Center July 31st through August 5th and receive your exclusive Hawksworth Blood Orange FC Cincinnati t-shirt. Visit hawksworth.org/FCC to schedule your appointment. Hildebrand out to midfield, looking in the direction of Greg. Now Greg couldn't pick it up. Sean McClaws turning on it. And now sent forward into the 18. Delbridge able to head it away. Lewis into the box. Mensah back to Lewis. Sent across the middle. And it goes out far touchline. Throw in will come for FC Cincinnati. So we had heard that there was a storm brewing. We are not in a weather delay right now, but lightning has been detected within a 15-mile radius. So that announcement was just made here at the stadium. If it gets within an 8-mile radius, there could be another weather delay. Minute. Ball sent across the middle, knocked down, cleared away. Matt Boehner coming in defensively. Harrisburg City is trying to throw it in quickly with Thomas. Claus comes over, handles the duties.
FC's just got to weather the storm a little bit here. Key time, obviously, with 10 minutes left. Can't concede a goal and give Harrisburg a chance to get back into the game.
Mensah, a little bit of a push off on Harrison Delbridge, then he had a nice service. The City Islanders unable to do anything with it. Then a deflection off of Boehner will earn a corner kick, as Lewis will go over to take it in the 81st minute. Might be bad timing to use the word storm, as they said there was lightning within that 15-mile radius. Again, play would not be stopped again. We've already had a 1 hour and 7-minute delay. And we had heard during halftime that another storm was coming. They're going to try to get this second half in before it got here. Bouncing across the box. Foul will be called on Harrisburg City. Hildebrand will put it back into play. Both these teams playing well of late. Mentioned it earlier, Harrisburg City 4-1-1 over their last 6. In league play, FC Cincinnati has only lost 2 of their last 10 USL matches. 5, 2, and 3 during that stretch. Now Greg trying to pick it up in the midfield. Plumhoff. On to the right, McClaws.
Most impressive thing too, Tommy, just the performances in that run for FC Cincinnati. Obviously they've improved results in the USL, but knocking off 2 MLS teams. certainly starting to come together.
This team has certainly gelled over the last 2 months. The success in league play and then the success in the Open Cup as well. Josu taken down. And we'll take some time checking his foot as he gets up. Again, Josu starting today as Tyler Pollock is out with a foot injury. Here, Alan Koch a little bit, making sure to tell his guys keep the energy. They're over the final 10 minutes. We've had a yellow card and a goal here in the second half, so there will be some stoppage time, not necessarily a lot. Josu sending it forward for Koenig. Now out into the midfield. Kenny Walker wins the battle. Bone has it taken off his feet, and Walker unable to win it back. Lewis going to race up the middle of the pitch. Nice ball out wide to the right for Plumhoff. Sends it across the middle. You can hear the fourth official. He's trying to radio out to Jorge Ramirez and tell him to clear the field. We're going to another weather delay, folks. Ball sent into the middle. Kenny Walker is going to send it out of play, and now play is going to be stopped for the second time tonight. 84th minute. There's lightning within 8 miles. Certainly not the news anybody wanted to have. With about 7 minutes remaining, we have a weather delay for the second time. Now, we are past the threshold where this match can be called.
Yeah.
We're in a similar situation, a little bit different in the Bethlehem Steel match when it was a one-goal game.
Yeah.
And Bethlehem Steel was adamant about trying to resume play. We never resumed play after sitting around for quite a while. A little bit of a different situation. We'll see how much Bill Betcher will fight this situation. But weather delay number 2, that's a first for a match here at Nippert Stadium. As the clubs will head off to the dressing room for the 3rd time tonight. And yet we're not done. 84th minute. And FC Cincinnati leading 2-0. I would imagine the situation, regardless of what happens, will not be resolved for a while. When the conversation I had at halftime that it was a pretty sizable storm coming through, and it would not be like last time where there was no rain, it was just lightning within an 8-mile range. It seemed like there was a storm coming through that would be rain and much more. So the clubs are going to head to their dressing rooms, and folks, once again, we have a minimum of a 30-minute delay. Certainly not an ideal situation, especially with FC Cincinnati playing again on Monday in their international friendly. Allen's going to rotate the lineup on Monday irregardless, but you want to get this one over with and everyone home to bed resting. And
I'm sure it's frustrating for the players and the coaches. 7 minutes left. You're winning 2-0. But that's what happens.
You have to deal with.
It's what you have to deal with, yeah.
So lightning detected within an 8-mile radius. And that means that once again, we will resume network programming on both television and radio. We will go back to network programming, and hopefully we can bring it back here to Nippert Stadium to either tell you that the match is final at 2-0 or that they will play the final 7 minutes. Again, the 84th minute here at Nippert Stadium. FC Cincinnati 2, Harrisburg City 0. We are in a weather delay for the second time tonight. We'll step aside and resume network programming. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer. Tom Glitter and Kevin McCloskey back with you at Nippert Stadium following weather delay number 2. The good news is some of the fans have stuck around, and Harrisburg City and FC Cincinnati are back out on the pitch ready to play the final 7-ish minutes of this match. Play stopped in the 84th minute with FC Cincinnati leading 2-0, and we hope to wrap this one up in a few moments. In the meantime, let's take care of some business. Save time every time when you use online check-in for a great haircut at Great Clips. It's going to be great. And Mitch Hildebrand early, Kevin, with a big save.
Yeah, very early effort for Harrisburg. Played across. I think Mitch kind of sees this late, does well. Down to his bottom left and secures the ball in for a good save.
So the big save early for Mitch Hildebrand, and tonight's moment of the match is driven by Toyota Let's Go Places. Before we resume play, the moment of the match, well, goal number 2, GB and Koenig hooking up.
Yeah, fantastic run by Danny Koenig, but what a pass from GB. Danny looks up, sees the goalkeeper and splits through for a nutmeg and a finish.
Koenig and GB with the big hug and a little dance move following the goal. That is our moment of the match. This match, however, not yet quite over. 83-14 is the time on the clock as it was stopped. 83-14. I think we'll have a little stoppage time, maybe about 2 minutes. And we do have a substitution for Harrisburg City coming out of the locker room. And Lee Nishanian checks in. He has 14 starts on the season. So Nishanian with some experience, 1 assist in the 15 appearances so far this year. So the clock will run forward from 83-14, and we hope that after, what, 2.5?
No more lightning.
3.5 hours since we started this one, Kevin.
Yeah.
We can wrap it up. We had a 1 hour and 7-minute delay for Lightning. Now a 35-minute delay for Lightning. So 1 hour and 42 minutes of delays tonight. We appreciate everybody stuck with us. Got a chance to sneak in the news on Star 64. Now we can wrap it up for you as the clock rolls on. Harrisburg City will have the ball. They will be in their all white and working left to right, trying to find a couple goals and get back into this one. And Kevin, kind of interesting to see how everybody stayed loose and also focused during this second delay.
Yeah. No, it was, you know, from the first half. Then obviously, you know, there was
a late flag here for offside.
A delay, and then the second half. I think so far, you know, the FC Cincinnati players have done really well to kind of keep that mental focus and get back and really resume play. Like, you know, nothing's changed. It'll be interesting to see Harrisburg. You know, I think they're going to obviously have to gamble. Not a ton of time left. Maybe play with 2 or 3 at the back, depending on kind of the shape, and really try to roll the dice, I think.
Jimmy McLaughlin is fouled at midfield. I think Justin Hoyt just hurt his right shoulder also. A yellow card is going to be shown, and that's going to be a red card for Thomas. If that's Thomas, it's his second yellow of the night.
The yellow card has been issued to Harrisburg number 14.
Oh, 14. Now they're on number, I'm sorry, Danny DePrima.
Yeah.
So I missaw it from up here, so I beg your pardon. Danny DePrima earns the yellow card. He was one of the subs for Harrisburg City here in the second half. Jimmy McLaughlin to the box. Jimmy McLaughlin with a right-footed shot, and Jimmy steps out of the changing room and buries his second goal of the season.
What a finish.
Another quick start out of the changing room for FC Cincinnati, and it's 3-0.
We talked about the delay, or before the delay at least, if they could get that third goal, really kill it off. And like we said, very impressed. Every time there's been a stop or delay, they've came back and they've really started the game quickly. Good little deceiving move. Just tucks it away into that far left-hand corner.
Right inside of the post and just out of the reach of Brandon Miller. Really nice strike there from McLaughlin. You know, the game that you missed, the league game, Ryan and I talked about how well Jimmy's been playing and how he's been so close to scoring in so many matches. Either he's just missed or the opposing goalkeeper has made a brilliant save to keep him off the score sheet. Not there, folks.
No, he's a threatening player. You know, he kind of moves really well in those spaces. And that really, like you talked about the last broadcast, I mean, that's the missing thing, is just that finish, which we just saw.
Greg heads it down to McLaughlin, Josu. And now for the orange and blue, it's just a matter of killing off this clock and finally putting the 3 points on the board and watching the club move up the table a little bit more.
Great performance too against a good Harrisburg team. You know, they controlled the game, they dictated it with different challenges. But leaving this field with 3 points, I'm sure Alan Koch and his men will be very, very thrilled.
Boehner will turn it out to midfield. A very small crowd here at this point after the
It's kind of bizarre.
Delay. I mean, it's 10:37. We expect it to be done about 9 o'clock, as is usually the case.
Yeah.
Not so much. Never rained a drop tonight, but 2 weather delays due to lightning within an 8-mile radius. First one a bit longer than the second. Claus over to the right side. We have not seen VAR instituted tonight. I mentioned it early. Those who have stuck with us through the whole broadcast, we appreciate that. Did not yet see it. Still could, I suppose, over the final 3 or 4 minutes. Danny Koenig will work up the right side. Koenig making a run. Maybe a chance for another one for FC Cincinnati. Koenig into the middle. Greg got his first shot off and put it up a bit high.
Yeah, fantastic work again by Danny Koenig on that right-hand side. Greg did a great job of checking his run too to come back.
Danny Koenig warmed up for this match 4 hours ago.
Yeah, he did. Still doing his wind sprints.
30-year-old had no trouble making the run up the touchline there. Appreciate all of our hardworking crew tonight. Down in the truck, led by our producer David Ashbrock, and everybody being patient through the delays. Sent across at the end line, flag went up, offside will be the call. Here's the run by Danny Koenig.
Fantastic work rate. Just comes, gets the space, looks up. Carrick did a good job of checking his run, and just kind of difficult. Once you're running towards that ball, they kind of get your hip and your head over it to keep it down.
Greg was here last Saturday for the match, or not here last Saturday, I'm sorry, the last time the club was home, so 13 days ago he was here for the match against Richmond. How about the fourth official has signaled there will be no stoppage time tonight. So when they get to 90 minutes, folks, this one after 4.5 hours
Tommy's
will
still
be
working
over.
hard.
Koenig, top of the 18, lost it. Maybe ran out a little bit of steam on that run. McLaughlin didn't run out any steam. He was coming over his shoulder looking for the pass. Boehner, he'll pull it towards the corner and kill some clock. About 60 seconds remaining. FC Cincinnati is going to have their 8th win in league play. Hoyt over to Delbridge. There he'll send it into the middle. McLaughlin on his foot. Great touch, and then McLaughlin tossed aside by Thiago.
Danny Koenig and Jimmy are excited to maybe try to get something else,
you know,
out of this game. Improve their stats.
And into the middle. At this point, you just got to be safe.
Yeah.
Don't pick up a knock at 10:40 at night after a couple weather delays and you're up 3-0. So no stoppage time means this one will be over in a matter of seconds. Played forward in the direction of Plumhoff. It'll roll over to Mitch Hildebrandt. And now we just await the whistle from Jorge Ramirez. Mitch scoops it up. We have played 90.
He's going to call it after this kick, I think.
Yeah. His whistle's in his mouth. There it is. The whistle sounds, and those remaining are dancing in the Bailey tonight. A 3-0 win for FC Cincinnati. The supporters will celebrate the 8th win in league play for the Orange and Blue.
Impressive performance tonight, Tommy. With all the challenges and stops that both teams faced, very impressed with how FC Cincinnati kept it together and put on a solid performance.
2 letters were written on the whiteboard in the locker room before the match. U and S. Has nothing to do about you. It was all about us for FC Cincinnati tonight, and I'm not talking about Kevin and I.
Subliminal message, is it?
It was us, and it worked out to a score of 3-0. Tonight's match highlights are presented by Toyota. For all the latest Toyota offers, visit buyatoyota.com. 3 goals, and it started with GB after the first weather delay in the 32nd minute.
Yeah, fantastic finish. Obviously, great awareness to pick up that loose ball. Cuts inside and finish it with his left foot into the bottom corner.
So GB has the game-winning goal, but then he decided to pick up his first assist of the year.
What a pass,
on the pass to Danny Koenig.
Perfectly with a pass. Danny makes a good run, looks up at Miller coming in, and just slides it through his legs.
Koenig's 6th goal of the season made it 2-0, and Jimmy McLaughlin, after the second weather delay, put him away with his 2nd goal of the year.
Yeah, good change of direction here by Jimmy. Cuts inside on his favorite right foot. A great finish.
3 goals and a 3-0 victory and a clean sheet for Mitch Hildebrand, his 6th on the season. Alan Koch is with Lindsey Patterson. Let's head down to the pitch.
Coach, your guys kept that energy here tonight. You have to be pretty pleased with how they played in the last couple weeks. They're really gelling out there.
Yeah, we've obviously we've got a lot of work to do. We've definitely continued to head in the right direction. I feel like this group gets better and better every week. I think we got better within the course of the game tonight. I don't think we're very good before the first weather delay. We obviously came out with a positive reaction, and then we continued to grow as the game went along, and then even better reaction here in the last 7 minutes. But thanks to the fans too. This is awesome. Obviously to go through 2 weather delays is not that easy, and see so many stay off the first one and see that people stay now is great, and it's awesome that we can reward them with 3 points.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Alan. We appreciate the time tonight. Great work tonight as well by Lindsey Patterson. And, of course, all of her sideline reports are brought to you by Volkswagen. Tonight's man of the match is presented by You Pull and Pay. Find the parts you need fast and save at You Pull and Pay. And GB, the man of the match, with a goal and an assist.
Fantastic performance tonight for GB. Obviously, great finish to start off, give them the go-ahead lead. Finish into the bottom corner, and then obviously becomes the provider at least with this great assist. Well-timed slotted pass through. Danny Koenig puts it in front, just has to slot it through the goalkeeper's legs.
GB's received some great passes so far this season. He dished one off there to his pal Danny Koenig. That was goal number 2, and 3-0 was the final. Took a little bit longer than we expected, Kevin, but a big result for the lads.
No, fantastic performance for FC Cincinnati tonight. We talked about it over the last probably 6-7 games. They're really starting to hit form. And to beat a team like Harrisburg tonight convincingly, I think that speaks volume of what this squad has.
A hug between team owner Carl Linder and Alan Koch as he heads into the changing room, and a win for the Orange and Blue. Once again, your final score from Nippert Stadium, 3-0 in favor of FC Cincinnati. Our next broadcast of soccer comes your way soon, Monday night, July 24th, when Cincinnati hosts Valencia in an international friendly here at Nippert Stadium. The action begins at 7:30 on ESPN3 and Cincinnati Bell Optics. For sideline reporter Lindsey Patterson, my broadcast partner Kevin McCloskey, our producer David Ashbrock, and production manager Mike Bacon, I'm Tom Glitter saying so long and good night from Nippert Stadium.